So, you're thinking about trekking to Everest Base Camp. It's one of those bucket list adventures, right? But with all the epic photos, there are also a ton of questions. We're going to cut through all the noise and give you the real, unfiltered guide you need to figure out if this journey is actually for you. And it all boils down to one very simple-sounding question.
What's the first thing everybody asks? I bet it's the same thing you're wondering. Just how far is it really? You want that number, that solid distance you can wrap your head around before you even think about lacing up your hiking boots.
And there it is. The round trip is about 115 kilometers, which is around 71 miles. You know, when you see it written down like that, it seems totally fine. Spread that over a couple of weeks, and you're looking at less than 10 kilometers a day. Piffed. Most of us could knock that out on a weekend walk, no problem.
But hang on. This right here is the most important thing you need to hear, and it's the biggest trap first-timers fall into. That number, it's a decoy. It's probably the least important part of a story. Focusing only on the distance tells you almost nothing about what this trek is really like.
See, the real challenge of getting to Everest Base Camp isn't something you can measure in miles or kilometers. It's all about the things that a map just can't show you. So let's get into what really makes this trek so incredibly demanding.
So why does that pretty manageable 11.5 kilometers feel more like 500? Well, first and foremost, the altitude. Once you're up around 4,000 or 5,000 meters, there is so much less oxygen in the air. Your body is just working way harder to do basic stuff, so every single step feels tough. Then, no 2 days are alike. One day you're cruising downhill, the next you're grinding up a ridiculously steep climb. And let's not forget the famous Lukla weather that can cancel flights for days. Oh, and you're trying to recover every night in a very, very basic tea house. Suddenly, that simple distance is a whole different beast.
And to really get it, you have to look at what it's like on the ground day by day. The idea of an average day on the Everest Base Camp Trek, it just doesn't exist. The differences can be massive. Just look at this comparison. An easy day could be about 7.5 kilometers, mostly a nice, gentle downhill walk that takes maybe 3.5 hours. Simple enough. But then look at a hard day, the big push to base camp. It's only about 4 kilometers longer, but it can easily take twice the time, like 7 or 8 hours. How? It's all because you're at extreme altitude, where every single step is a monumental effort. This is the perfect illustration of why distance means absolutely nothing without context.
And this brings us to the single most important word of the entire trek, acclimatization. Seriously, this is just the process of letting your body slowly get used to the thin air. Trying to rush it is incredibly dangerous and can lead to acute mountain sickness, which is no joke. That's why any good trekking itinerary builds in mandatory rest days. You're not just kicking back, you're literally letting your body catch up. Do not skip these. They are absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, so after a long, tough day on the trail, you're probably dreaming of a hot shower, a warm bed, and a fantastic meal. Well, let's talk about the reality of the tea houses. They're a huge part of the experience, but luxury is not the word I'd use.
Here's the straight scoop. The only warm place is going to be the main dining hall, where there's usually a stove. Your bedroom? It's going to be cold, like see your breath cold. The food is all about fuel. Lots of dal bhat, noodles, and potatoes. It'll keep you going, but don't expect a culinary tour. Things like Wi-Fi and charging your phone are extras that you'll have to pay for, and they can be painfully slow. And please do not forget, cash is king. The last reliable ATM is in Namche Bazaar. After that, you're on your own.
All right, so we've gone over the challenges. Now for the good part, how to beat them. This isn't about trying to scare you away from the trek. It's the opposite. It's about giving you the knowledge you need to be smart, prepared, and have an absolutely amazing time.
If you forget everything else, just remember these 3 golden rules. 1. Acclimatize. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. Do not skip your rest days. 2. Hydrate like it's your job. Seriously, aim for 3 to 4 liters of water every single day. It's one of the best things you can do to prevent altitude sickness. And 3. Plan for delays. The Lukla airport is notorious for closing due to weather. Add 1 or even better, 2 buffer days to your schedule. You do not want to be stressing about missing your flight home.
Here are a few more classic rookie mistakes that are so easy to fix. First, overpacking. Don't do it. You can rent the big, bulky stuff like a proper down jacket and a warm sleeping bag for cheap right in Kathmandu. Second, do not underestimate how cold it gets. A sleeping bag that's rated to at least -15 Celsius or 0 Fahrenheit is essential. And one last time for the people in the back, get your cash in Kathmandu. All of it. Enough for the whole trek.
So, after all of that, the challenges, the cold, the solutions, how do you know if this trek is really for you? It's an absolutely life-changing journey, for sure. But it's not for everyone. A good way to think about it is to find your trekking style. Are you a budget backpacker who's totally fine with the absolute basics? Or maybe you're a first-timer and the idea of having a guide and a porter sounds pretty good. That's the standard trek. Or maybe you'd prefer to go a bit slower, stay in slightly nicer lodges, and have full support. That's more of a comfort style. Figuring out which one you are is a huge step in planning the right trip.
And you know, this quote from our source material just nails it. The ideal person for this trek is someone with a moderate level of fitness, you don't have to be a marathon runner, a real sense of adventure, and who's ready for a journey that's more about resilience than it is about 5-star luxury. If that sounds like you, then you're a perfect fit.
So in the end, it all comes back to that first question, but with a totally new spin. The question isn't how far is it? The real question is, how well will you prepare? Prepared for the thin air, the cold nights, the simple food, and the unexpected curveballs. Because that, right there, is the real journey. So are you ready for it?